Okay, so today in class we started going over past tense verb rules. Let's review. A past tense verb, first of all, what's a verb? A verb is an action. A past tense verb is an action that has already happened, whether it happened earlier today, yesterday, last week, or a month ago, or a year ago. It is a past tense verb. So we were going over some of the rules today. The first one we started with was that some verbs, to make them past tense, we just add a D. So we had some examples like baked and dodged. To make these words past tense, all we did was added a D to it. There are other words that we follow this same rule with that end in E. For example, the word dance. Dance already ends in E. So all I'm going to do to make it past tense is add a D at the end. I danced at the party. Another example is the word close. It already ends in E, so all I have to do to it is add a D at the end. I closed the door on my way out. Let me zoom in a little more. Live already ends in E, so to make it past tense, I just add a D at the end. We lived in that home 10 years ago. And then our final example is the word hike. It already ends in E, so all I have to do is add a D at the end. Now I have the word hiked. I'm going to go on, but if you need more time, pause the video, and when you're ready, click play to continue. We also talked about verbs that are actions that end with the ed ending in past tense. So some of these examples were the word help, we add ed, walk, we add ed. We're going to make some more examples where we add ed to make the verb past tense. For example, the word box. I add ed to it. I boxed the items that were to be shipped. We just add ed. Another example, play. To make it past tense, we add ed. We played soccer all afternoon. Want, we add ed. To make it past tense, I wanted to buy those shoes. And the word paint, we add ed to make it past tense. We painted our house another color. Again, if you need more time, press pause and then press play when you're ready to move on. The other rule we talked about is how some verbs that end in Y, we change the Y to an I and we add an ed. So not only do we add ed, but we must remember to change that Y to an I. For example, we had the verbs cry and the verb tried. Let's do some more examples. Fry, not the fry like the fry you eat, that would be a noun. This fry is like, let's fry some fish. It's a verb. It's something you are going to do. So to make fry past tense, we fried some fish for dinner. Drop the Y, add IED. Another example, dry. We dried our clothes when they came out of the washer. Drop the Y, add IED. Let's do a few more examples. We have the word spy. Not like a person, that would be a noun, but the action, I will spy on my brother. Or past tense, I spied on my brother. Carry, it ends in Y. We drop the Y and we add IED. Marry, we drop the Y and we add IED. The word hurry, we drop the Y and add IED. Same thing would be for other verbs that end in Y, like scurry. We also talked about irregular verbs. This is where it gets tricky. These verbs are called irregular because they do not follow a rule. They are just irregular verbs. It is different every single time. So for these verbs, we don't add a D, we don't add an ED, we don't add an IED. We just don't know sometimes what it is. We have to just memorize these and know the correct past tense term of the verb. For example, for go, we wouldn't say goed. For buy, we wouldn't say buyed. Drive, drived. Fight, fighted. Write, righted. There is a proper way to say each verb in past tense. Go would become went, buy would become bought, drive would become drove, fight becomes fought, and write becomes wrote. Now, there's no way to know which ones these are. That's why they are irregular, because it just changes every time. We're going to do a few more of these. We're going to make 2 more columns, so make sure you have enough space. If you're behind, remember to press pause and then continue when you're ready. So run becomes ran. I ran to the store. I am tired. Yesterday I was tired. We're making these past tense. I do my homework. Yesterday I did my homework. We are tired. Yesterday we were tired. Think. Thought. Sell becomes sold. Fly, not the insect, that would be a noun. The verb, like I fly to Miami, becomes flew. I flew to Miami. Swim becomes swam with an A. Draw becomes drew with an E. And our final example will be catch. I catch the ball yesterday, and I'm going to have to write it at the bottom. I caught the ball. So again, what makes these irregular? That there is no rule that they follow. We just don't know what the rule is because they are irregular verbs. They are all different, so the ending for past tense is different and unique for each one. We also talked about linking verbs and helping verbs. So why are these linking verbs and helping verbs? These verbs are special verbs that help us connect one part of our sentence to the next part of our sentence. For example, verbs that end in ing, like walking, talking, running, speaking, breathing, swimming, jumping, writing, thinking. We cannot just use those in a sentence by themselves. What does that mean? I cannot say I walking, I talking, he running, they walking, they selling, they swimming. I have to use one of these linking and helping verbs to help me connect or help me link those ideas. Have, had, has. Other examples are am, I am talking, was, I was running, were, we were swimming, he is speaking, they are cooking. I already did were, could, should, and would are also special verbs, linking and helping verbs. And then we also have the word will. Whenever we have this part of the verb, it is a future tense verb.